Hi, welcome back to Analytical Media. We are a consortium, a group of therapists, college professors, and well-published peer-reviewed authors. You can find our book on the subject of psychopathy entitled Descent into Darkness at Amazon.com. The book analyzes the murder of Travis Alexander by Jodi Ann Arias from the perspective of psychopathy. Today, we're going to continue in our series of correspondence with targeted individuals, persons who believe they have been gang-stalked or being gang-stalked. This individual has figured out and is revealing to us how it works through his research. He has done extensive research, or so he claims, to show us how gang stalking actually works, to explain it. And I will read that to you now. They do abduct, perform surgery to install an electrode magnet on the left side of the brain, we think, to perform any action we want. That is why the gang is so avant-garde. They can now use this person as they want. For this gang, it can be anything like sex, money, free trips, barter, information, school, whatever they want. Worse yet, they can get rid of the robotized person who's now operated from a remote station that functions like a remote control to be paid for anything. The hospitals benefit the most. They attack people the most for the money, obviously. Those doctors make $400K a year, more than the president. From total abuse like a war nationwide, they have some home captive as well as they call insane. They let the gang that is split into a cell that is hired to harass the family, usually from a known friend, to pick them, usually out of jealousy, attack them relentlessly over and over again for over a lifetime until it sounds real, like a real ailment, and they spend their money at the hospital. It is very terrorist-like. The entire cell watches and operates everyone in the entire group all the time. It is very deliberate and very criminal, not very professional, like from a government strike on people. They are derogatory to the families, like making fun of their grandma's breasts, hitting them with EMP and other unknown weapons, which should be out. All information about these weapons should be out and known. This, he says, is very important information. The people they did not use for a strike, because there are too many now, being held under like a proletariat group, are being held in small towns like a patrol camp, and they are being threatened relentlessly. Their cars don't work, their phones are off, and they are not allowed to work. This is what they do and did to this one woman who I wrote for in a most drastic way. Her parents, they just took with the one electrode and are being operated to just lose their property all of the time, although they allowed one truck and a couple of phones and a TV to watch all evening long. To the daughter, it is inconspicuous that they are being held against their will, and to us, obvious. They did a lot of obvious damage to their cars, phones, property, etc. They have remote control over all of their electronics, anything with a control panel, like the water, the car dash, etc. The next door neighbors are forced to drive by like a patrol. They all have to have the same color of cars at times to show that they are controlled by this remote gang operation. Most of them made it famous because of it. This person can hear their drone ship from afar. She doesn't know how they are making themselves heard and thought it was like their gang. It's another elite level of group of people that are probably very rich. They let them make it, so we think they're part of some troubadour like a brigade. They allow make it. They go out to target some of the individuals for the money. Most of us feel sorry for those ones that got caught up in the movement. To allow people to do more. It's a lot more than that. They can get rid of people and things like that if you just ask them. They do exchanges for property, fleets, airplane rides, and things like that. They use the electrode to watch and share an individual's entire life, Some of them are very sexy, and the rest of the gang gets turned on. They jump to many people. They have too many kids. A lot of them are twins, too. It's another trademark of gang stalking. These 4 pairs of twins at our school alone, it was a gang stalk cult school. They trap individuals there and mess with them really bad. Then they follow them for life, trapping them using the magnet electrodes. Sometimes they frame really hard, and other times they just don't, to prove who's boss. They can do whatever they want with the individual. It's lawless. Not a part of the legal field at all. No policemen are targeting and watching being a professional. It is pure crime. The police are electromagnetized too for these crime bosses that are rich like a Lex Luthor. That, by the way, is a reference to the Superman comic books. Lex Luthor, the ultimate criminal. They do go in and have sex with the women they target too at times, right in front of their loved ones who are in on the operation. They all do. Some of the people they target are like supermodels. They do it for personal reasons. The cause of death is often unknown. Asphyxiation. However, they can fake any disease in the world, and that is what it is for, to get rid of people. They used to get rid of entire cults of people in the 70s, but it was too obvious that people were being gotten rid of under something called mind control, like hypnosis. But it is not. It's human robotics. They are like ragdoll zombies. They don't have any recollection of what happened to them. No known memories. Don't know what we are doing. No way to control anything that has to do with their bodies that they grew as a little tiny spirit in a pineal gland, the gland that is known for emotion, and the cortex that controls the breath. It is a whole brain control. We even clench their assholes, their genitals. We blink and breathe them like a human-made cyborg for this gang to take over. There's no way to detect it. If we look for it, they take us. I mean, hard way. Freak us out with a huge group of people. Turn off the electrodes, trap us, put us in wrecks, and everything else. We even suffer from food poisoning from one of their known networks that works in the grocery store chains, restaurants, and everything else. We are a gang that controls territories like a cult, and we take people without regard, too. We can control them for their entire lives if we just want to see who is into them, watch them have sex, go to school. We pick up course info. We get their entire lives, where they live and everything else. We can also harass them with this electrode without being told on. We clench their assholes, genitals, hold them still to be fondled, and we really mess with their looks. We make them look retarded and inept. We put Nair in their shampoo, flatten their cheeks down with something. We dented one guy's head. We put a dent in one girl's leg and things like that to make sure that no one told on us. We are really bad. We just proved that we can leave a live, healthy, active person in a house for 3 years to not do anything at all, with zero money the entire time, etc. And we get paid to do it for people. This person does not need free, since the gang is so huge. She is stuck like that for life. They did everything they could to disguise it. Once a week, they take control over her ragdoll mom, who's about to die, and pull on her eyelids to make her look sickly and old. We have the neighbor who's under our control to mess up her fingernails once a week, and we are very obsessed with her appearance. Most of us wanted to really nail somebody, but they won't let us. She has a long route downward, paid for by no other than her dad's ex-wife. We'll just use the first name, Diane. She might be droned too, because our gang is just getting rid of people for work, property, and trade secret for the new American proletariat. They pay for their gangs via money laundering, fake jobs. They think they're supposed to attack like a French criminal. What made us mad is that they use really gangster guys to rape these women that are worth a lot. The men are gross, grimy, and inept, low IQ types. We cannot get the electrodes out of their heads. One upper crust gang member said that it is possible to get it out, but we don't believe it. The hospitals get paid too, much to take it out. It's their bread and butter, so we don't know what to do with their brain abused torture victims. They are so awful that they use this device every day to hassle people, like a ragdoll puppet. It is a trade to attack people with this gang. They know how to make their deaths look proper, like they were just crazy. They are people, best sons and daughters, that deserve something in life. These people don't deserve much. They are very evil. So please comment on this back to me. I'm very interested in your input. Of course, I am a controlled human with my own identity by a cell. Okay. They wanted to know what you thought about what I wrote. Thanks. Is gang stalking a delusion, or is it real? Or is it both? Sometimes a delusion, sometimes real. There are many clues in this correspondence that tells us this is delusional. Might not be, but it appears to be. And here's the rationale for that. The misuse of language. You know that word salad is a delusion of schizophrenics. Paranoia is a delusion of schizophrenics. We can see a breakdown of language. Language is not very communicative. It's certainly improper, but it's actually losing the ability to communicate. It's language that says a lot of words, but it doesn't really tell us much. Also, these people, this person is talking about complete knowledge of how this is done. Complete knowledge. Done with an electromagnet on the left side of the brain. It's done with an implanted electrode. And it explains all the behavior of the people that have had this done to them. It's all explained. They're ragdolls, puppets, being controlled from a distance. He claims there are entire towns filled with these people. The knowledge that he is expressing here is complete. It is as if he has complete knowledge. The explanation for things seems rather far-fetched. For instance, he says, once a week they take control over her ragdoll mum, who's about to die, and pull on her eyelids to make her look sickly and old. Now, I don't know how pulling on someone's eyelids makes them look sickly and old. He doesn't communicate that. His writing is not communicating much. You pull on someone's eyelids, they might look swollen, they might look watery, but I don't know that they would make you look sick and old. And then, to make it even worse, they have her neighbor, who is under our control, mess up her fingernails once a week. And we are very obsessed with her appearance. Again, this is a language issue. This is an issue of losing the ability to communicate with language. We have a loosening of associations here in the writing. There's no stream of consciousness, no logical flow. There are many illogical things that are affixed to this. Like when he says, we are obsessed with her appearance. Why are you obsessed with her appearance? It doesn't make sense to us. He mentions sex several times, that these people are used sexually. He also mentions that some of them are supermodel types, which would be very desirous to a heterosexual male, a female supermodel. We are not suggesting that everyone who claims to be gang stalked is delusional. We're not suggesting that. We think everything should be checked out. There isn't too much to check out in this case, because he's giving us the explanation. He's not explaining what's happening to him. He's telling us how they do it and what it's like. And it comes across as very far-fetched. Literally impossible. The whole town, doesn't anyone know about that town? Don't other cars travel through the town? were the people that weren't given any money, just left alone for several years, and they were fine. And they put Nair, which is a hair remover, in their shampoo. And we flatten their cheeks. Now here he doesn't know how, because even for him that's far-fetched. What does a flattened cheek look like? I don't even know. And he doesn't know how that's done either, because he says we flattened their cheeks with something. We dented one guy's head. We put a dent in one girl's leg, and things like that to make sure that no one told on us. We are really bad. We at Analytical Media find this to be more delusional and the work of a person who is actively delusional. If you want somebody to believe something that is pretty outlandish, you should come forward with some evidence, some proof. And the normal human being knows that. Say, well, you'll never believe what happened to me on my way home from work. There was this bright light in the sky, and my car stopped, and two little aliens came out from the bright light, talked to me for a while, and I know it's hard to believe, but I did have the other alien take a picture of me talking to the other alien on my cell phone. I got it right here. You can see, here's the picture. Or I got a fingerprint from the alien. I had him grab this can of pop, and we'll get the fingerprints developed tomorrow. Some proof. An average person, a normal person, recognizes how outlandish something is that they're saying. They recognize that the story they're telling is outlandish, it's grand, it's vast. It is sort of unbelievable, so they recognize that, and they try to make it more believable by pointing out evidence. You know, there were other people on Route 22 when this saucer was flying over. We'll look for it in the paper. Because if it's in the paper, you know, if we could find it in a newspaper, then it's kind of proof that something was flying over Route 22. He doesn't recognize that he is saying things that are outrageous, very, very unbelievable. Nor does he offer any evidence, any proof. It doesn't even occur to him. He doesn't even say to us when he starts it off, this will sound unbelievable, but I promise you it's true. It's like he doesn't realize it because he believes it so strongly. You heard it, you decide. Is this one true, maybe true, partly true, could be true, or completely delusional? Look at the many examples of the loosening of associations. What that means is, loosening of associations means that the language doesn't follow a normally logical path. For instance, I went to the store. I got to the parking lot. It seemed pretty busy. There were lots of people going into the store. I went into the store. I asked the girl, where is the horseradish sauce? She said aisle 14. I went to aisle 14. The horseradish sauce that was supposed to be on sale wasn't available, but there was another brand that I bought previously and I felt would be very good, so I purchased that, and then I drove home. That's just straight logical. Drove to the store, got to the parking lot. Noticed the parking lot was busy, went into the store. But with loosening of association, I went to the store, I got to the parking lot, and I noticed my friend Jean driving by in her car. Her car is a blue car. I've always liked the color blue since I was a child. And when I was a child, I went to schools, grade schools, and I liked them. I had some good teachers, and I had some bad teachers. My best teacher came from England. And England's where they have Big Ben and the Tower of London. I've never been to London. That's loosening of association. She went to the store, and now she's all over the place. Just one word in a sentence reminds her of something, and she's off to that something. That's a loosening of association. It's a sign of delusions, a sign of schizophrenia oftentimes. To us, this looks like delusion. We've explained to you why, and now you can decide. What do you think? If your sister told you this, your brother told you this, a guy at work told you this, what would you think? We have access to materials from people who believe they're being gang-stalked. These are unsolicited. These are people writing to us, communicating with us based on previous research. I think it's insightful. I think you've heard of gang-stalking. You've heard people talk about being victims of gang-stalking or targeted individuals. Well, here's what they say. You may never have met one. You don't know how they think. Well, now you do. We have a whole series of these, so look for these. We will post again very soon. I hope you're enjoying things. Please subscribe, pass this on to someone. And until we post again, until we meet again, we wish you the best. Please take care. See you soon.